Hi everyone, it's Jessica here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to tell you about the things that shocked me the most when I moved to Switzerland. But before I get into the video, I want to let you know that I create a lot of content related to Switzerland because I'm an expat living here. But I also create a lot of content on career and also workwear styles. So if that's something that sounds interesting for you, don't forget to click on the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And now let's get started. The first thing that shocked me the most is seeing 5-year-old kids walking alone to school. Sorry, but I know Switzerland is very safe, but this still, as a mom, it's just something that it's really hard to understand. I don't know how, but it's a very common practice here. Kids usually wear like a yellow vest that tells everybody that they are like school kids going to school. Usually, the way it works is that whenever you start putting your kids to school, you have to put them into, well, you get assigned a school that is really close to your home, like walking distance. And whenever they are in the age of 4 to 5 years old, they start going to school on their own. Obviously, there is a process for this, and a parent told me that the way they do it is that they would start walking with them a few days all the way and telling them to be alert with the cars and teaching them where to stop and where they should look at before they cross the street and all of those things. But then it came to a point where one day they would just walk up to a certain point and the rest of the way they would do it on their own. And it's just shocking to me because I would be so scared that somebody would kidnap my kid or like that they could get run over or something. But it's a very standard practice here. Everybody does it. And the mom that I talked to, that is a colleague of mine, she told me that usually everyone is alert, like the society, when they see kids wearing this vest, the cars and also people walking, they are alert that this is a kid that's going to school. So whenever they are going to cross the street, they stop and wait until the car has stopped until they cross. And everyone is like very vigilant about them. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing that the community works that way, but as a mom, it still freaks me out. The second thing that shocked me is the first time around that I moved to Switzerland on my own, a couple of years back. I went clubbing with friends and I saw them leaving their bags at their seat and going into the dance floor to dance without having any visibility over the bags. That shocked me. That's completely unthinkable in Spain. Like, you carry your bag really close to you, even when you're dancing. You're very strategic about always keeping it under control so that nobody steals you. And here, like, nobody takes your things. I mean, obviously it can happen, but it's a very standard practice to the point that everyone does that and they feel safe. It's something that really shocked me. Something else that shocked me when I first moved here by myself, like 5 years ago, I remember the person that rented the apartment showing me around, and they showed me the washing machine was in the basement of the whole building to share for everybody. Like, we didn't have a private washing machine inside the apartment. We had one in the basement that we had to share, and this is a standard practice. I know that modern flats now, more and more, they have one in their own apartment privately, but still, like, the majority of places here still have a common washing machine to share. And there is a calendar where you have to register yourself, the date where you want to do your laundry, and that day, the amount of hours that you need, you can just book it, and that's your time range, your time frame with that you have to do all your laundry. Outside of that time, you cannot use it. Probably if it's already, I mean, if it hasn't been booked and you want to wash spontaneously, you can go check. If it's free and nobody has booked it, then you can use it. But otherwise, forget it. And this is something that really shocked me because you had to wait until that day to do all your laundry. And yeah, something shocking. I have my own in my place. I had to buy my own because I couldn't I mean, in my building, they do it that way. I bought one to put it in my apartment because I have a daughter and I just cannot deal with that system. Something else that surprised me is the invoice that you get once a year for the TV and radio. I mentioned that in this video that you can see up here, where I talked about the cost of living in Switzerland, so that you get an idea. If that's something that's going to be interesting for you or you're planning to move here, don't forget to check this out. And this invoice is something that caught me completely by surprise, because in my country, there's no such thing. And you get it once a year. So when we moved in, we got it within the first month. And I was like, what is this? It's over 300 francs. And I didn't understand. It's an invoice for the use of TV or radio. Even if you don't watch TV, even if you don't own a TV at your place, you still have to pay for this, because you probably live in an apartment where you have the possibility to plug in a TV or use your radio or your phone or anything. Unless you live in the top of a tree without any connection to the real world whatsoever. In that case, maybe you wouldn't have to pay it, but you still have to fight for it. Other than that, you have to pay for this invoice, and it's a yearly invoice, and that was shocking to me. Another thing that surprised me a lot was the fact that I had to pay for taxes for my dog when I moved here, and also get my dog into a dog school, basically to learn how to behave. And that was surprising because this course is actually very expensive, but it's also something I find it positive, in my opinion. I find positive that this is something mandatory that you have to do if you live in this country. However, what I found a little bit unfair is the fact that if you have done such courses in your home country before you move here, they don't take those courses. Even if you have the certificates and everything, they are not going to accept them. You still have to do it here in the country. Even if you would have your dog under your name as the owner, and then for whatever reason you want to change that to your partner's name, the dog would have to do the course again. This doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. It doesn't make any sense, but it's the way it works. So even though I appreciate the fact that this is something mandatory, it's for everybody's safety. And that's the reason why dogs are allowed in many places here in Switzerland. I appreciate that, but there should be more flexibility in terms of those other things. If the dog has already done a course like this, I think the country should take those certificates as valid. And if you want to, for whatever reason, change the dog under another person's name legally, I don't think the dog should have to do this whole training again. That's my opinion anyway. And something related to this, another thing that shocked me is when I walk my dog. I mean, I have been living here with my dog for 2 years now, and I haven't come across that many people that allow their dogs to socialize with other dogs. I feel like here there is such a big, how can I explain it? Like, they really love animals and they have such a high respect for dogs, and they take care of them in a way that I haven't seen in other countries so far. But when it comes to socializing, it doesn't happen. They just don't let the dogs socialize with other dogs. It doesn't happen. And I don't understand why, but it's countless of times my husband and I are shocked when we're walking Toti, that's my dog, and we see people coming towards us, and they literally cross the street, pulling their dogs like this, so that they avoid us, so that they don't come across our dog. Or we see people literally standing, waiting for us to go on another way so that they can keep walking their dogs. In Spain, it's the opposite. People come and let their dogs come to say hi to your dog, and then they continue their way and I continue mine. This doesn't happen here, and I don't know why. Because even if you have taken your dogs through that school, which we know every dog living here had to go through such a training, they supposedly know how to behave. So, and even if you have them on the leash, why don't let them socialize? Let your dog have fun. That's my thought. Sorry if it sounds like a critic. I don't want to offend anybody. It's my perception and my experience as an expat here, and it's something I don't understand. Something else that surprised me a lot is the recycling process. And I know this is a practice that is used in most countries these days, but the way they do it here, in particularly with the paper, is something that surprised me a lot. And the thing is that you have to separate it from the cardboard and put all the papers together in a similar structure, let's say rectangle shape. All you pile it up, and then you have to use a cord to tie it up and put it outside whenever is the paper recycling day in your area, the area where you live. So every year you get a calendar delivered to your home, and this calendar tells you what day of the month is what recycling day. So for example, on the 20th of the month, you have to recycle cardboard. So you put all your cardboard outside, but it has to be very nice, organized. And for example, in a big box, you put all your cardboard, but the box has to be the same material that you're going to recycle. And you put it outdoors in your building house. And early in the morning, they come and pick it all up. Maybe other day of the month you have the paper day, so you have to do the same, but you cannot just put all your paper in a cardboard box or in a cardboard bag or plastic bag. They would not take it, and they could even fine you. So you have to put it very well organized, pile it up, and tie it up with a cord. And this is the way everybody does it. I was really surprised by this, and the fines, if you really do this wrong, they are like insane. So everyone is vigilant to make this right. And the last thing that I want to mention in this video that shocked me was the fact that doctors here charge per minute. Whenever you go to the doctor, you don't pay anything on that day because usually you have your card. If you want to know how the healthcare system works here in Switzerland, you can watch this video right here. But basically, you get an invoice. By the way, you also have all the videos that I'm mentioning down in the description box below. Make sure to check it out in case you have any problems clicking here. But whenever you go to the doctor, you don't have to pay anything on that day. You just present your card, your insurance card, and then maybe a week, a month, or several months later, you get the invoice to send to your mail, to your home. And in the invoice, you can see the whole breakdown, and it is charged by the minute. It's something that freaked me out when I first heard it from other friends that went to the doctor, expats as well. They were also shocked as I was. And I was always thinking, oh my God, if I ever have to go to the doctor, I'm gonna have to be talking super fast to make sure they don't overcharge me. It sounds so stressful because maybe it's a serious matter and you really you have a lot of questions and you want to understand. I would be under such a pressure to get it done quickly so that the invoice is not a huge amount. But anyway, it's just something very interesting. All invoices are very transparent, by the way, so it's not like they're gonna overcharge you for anything. It's very clear and transparent. Okay guys, so this is all for this video. I probably could keep going with more things, but I'm gonna keep it short. Let me know if you enjoyed this video and if you have any questions about Switzerland, if you're planning to move here or anything at all. Make sure to leave me your comments down this video in the comment section, but also feel free to follow me on Instagram and DM me. You can directly message me and I will be able to answer a lot quicker there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!